Welcome to CTV News Your Canada. It's Thursday, March the 27th. We're going to bring you profiles of fascinating Canadians and stories about your community. Thanks for watching.
In preparation for when the ride opens, I need to practice.
Yes, you do.
So you say hands up, but I'm saying give me your hand. Okay, so 1, 2, 3.
Woo!
If you are a fan of amusement park roller coasters, Canada's Wonderland is your destination, but you'll have to wait for AlpenFury. It is currently under construction. Grace Peacock is the Regional Director of Public Relations for Canada's Wonderland.
This thing is going to be wicked because it is the longest, tallest, fastest launch coaster in Canada, but record-breaking for the number of inversions it's going to have, 9. You won't have a launch coaster anywhere in the world that's got 9 coasters or 9 inversions, but this unique experience is going to take you into Wonder Mountain and then launch you straight vertical 50 meters into the sky before gravity's going to take you racing through all those inversions. So it's going to be a wild ride and nothing anybody's ever had before.
Okay, Syria, I'm not thrilled about this, but let's Syria Kadam is an engineer who takes summers off and works at the park operating rides.
Oh, I've been coming here for 15 years, and it's just the vibe, it's the people, it's the adrenaline of the rides. I absolutely love everything about it. Obviously, you know, like when Wonderland built a ride like Leviathan, you know, world-class, super tall, fast, that was absolutely amazing. And they just kept adding these amazing attractions, right? Now we get AlpenFury, 9 inversions in 60 seconds. That's crazy to think about.
I'm scared. If you have the guts and the stomach for a roller coaster, Canada's Wonderland has a lot to offer. The park opens May 8th, but AlpenFury won't be available until later this spring. So you have lots of time to practice your scream. Andrea Case, CTV News, Toronto.
The last act of the night, and the one everyone's talking about.
Last night, my audition for Canada's Got Talent aired on City TV, and I got Howie Mandel's golden buzzer.
East Coast singer-songwriter Dee Dee Austin wowed the celebrity judges.
You have this sweet soul, this sweet voice.
To take that moment and get feedback from real-life legends, it was like, wow, this is like so incredible.
The golden buzzer means a fast track to the semifinals and $25,000.
I'm gonna be smart with the money. I'm gonna put it towards my career and gonna put it towards, you know, amplifying my voice and amplifying my story.
They scrubbed our skin with a wire brush.
She performed her original song, Buried Truth, a tribute to her great-grandmother and to all survivors of residential schools.
So standing up on that stage, performing Buried Truth, I felt that my grandmother was with me the entire time, and I look up to her major.
This is something that Canadians need to face and know.
And we need to hear about it more from people with direct experience.
Dee Dee says the experience was almost too big to comprehend.
And I had so many emotions and so many thoughts, like, is this actually real? Like, I'm actually standing here on this stage in front of these judges.
The audition aired last night, and the love hasn't stopped since.
My phone started buzzing like crazy. Like, not only mine, Dad's did too.
From a powerful message to a golden moment, Dee Dee Austin is capturing hearts across the country.
I'm feeling a little overwhelmed, but very honored and humbled and excited and happy and euphoric today.
Only honor and shame.
Getting a lesson in engineering.
With our class, we're building a castle. We're using like cans and stuff like that, and boxes of cereal.
While giving back to the community.
Other people don't have food and can give them food like this.
They're obviously raising food for like people who don't have as much food, so I think that's something very important to instill into kids, as well as like science and math. Like, academics isn't everything. We also need to know how to be a good person, right?
Combining learning experiences, the students at École La Harmonie in Waterloo spent the last month collecting items for the food bank of Waterloo Region.
They had conversations with their teachers as well about the importance of giving back. It also works it helps them develop different values, empathy, and sharing, collaboration.
Now, University of Waterloo engineering students joining the fun by using the items to teach the younger students about building structures.
We kind of teach them about engineering principles and science principles so that they're better off for like science and math, because that's usually what people struggle with.
A partnership that looks to create fun around serious topics like food insecurity, math, and sciences.
They will decide which structures they want to build, and they're going to work together. They're going to have to communicate. So there's a lot of skills that are going to be engaged in that activity.
It makes me feel good. We help people with no food.
With the success of this inaugural event, the principal is looking to bring it back and hopes to bring along engineering outreach for a second year. Ashley Bacon, CTV News, Waterloo.
We call ourselves the Amazon of local farms.
Darius Campo, owner of Ottawa Valley Meats, says he's a champion of local meats. Says business is booming since threats of Canada becoming the 51st state.
Ever since this whole tariff thing happened, we've seen a massive uptick. We see a lot of people coming to us. So you wanted to get some extra steaks, right?
Campo says business has gone up 45% within the last 3 months, and he expects to increase by 10% more in the coming weeks.
People are looking for genuine Canadian products. They don't like the fact that a lot of grocery stores or other producers will just put a Canadian flag on it.
All of this product, from meat to boxes to packaging, is sourced locally.
Our meat doesn't need a passport to get to your plate.
The Buying Canadian movement has made people pay attention to what they purchase, especially for these customers. Remy Gallego says he comes here every 2 weeks.
It's also supporting local stores. I think it's important now, especially with everything that's happening between us and the U.S. And it's also, buying things and knowing that it benefits people from your community.
I love supporting local businesses like Ottawa Valley Meats. Been supporting them for just over a year now.
Campo, whose passion came from growing up in a farming community, says it's always been his mission to support those around him.
Ever since we started, we've always been about supporting local. This is not a move for us. This has been something that we've been doing since day one.
As consumers switch to Canadian products that are locally made, the company has gained a lot of popularity online.
They want someone who can actually tell the story from the cow to their plate.
Campo says business was good before the tariff talk. Now, even busier in the store and online. And he's making the most of it.
This calf was born about 12 hours ago, and Owen Deaton needs to check it over quickly while being watched over by a protective mother. All looks good, and the calf gets an ear tag to identify it. Deaton's expecting to see about 65 more of these in the next few weeks, and he's always watching the weather and looking out for predators like coyotes and wolves. His goal is to make sure all the cow-calf pairs survive the ordeal.
And I don't really think that the public understands that. They don't know what you go through to put food on their plate, right? They just, they go to the grocery store and that's it.
The herd is a big financial investment for Deaton and his 7 Diamond Ranch, with each cow valued between $2,000 and $4,000.
Then you've got tariff challenges, financial challenges, everything that's going on in the world today, from the Netherlands, Britain to America. I mean, there's just no end to stuff that you got to do, right?
Deaton has toyed with sharing what life is like on his ranch through a series of videos he's posted on social media and YouTube.
My idea was I was going to start working with this colt that I'd bought, and people could follow along and you could learn as you go.
Deaton's daughter will one day take over the ranch and likes that her dad wants to share what life is like here.
I think it gives a little insight to, what goes on in a ranch and how things are done, and it just, opens up so many doors for a lot of people who don't fully understand what goes on when you run a ranch.
So far, a handful of calves have been born, and Deaton knows he won't be getting much sleep in the next few weeks, making sure that all the calves come out safely. Kevin Fleming, CTV News in Mountain View County.
From stiffness in her neck
to not being able to move her knees, to experiencing pain and fatigue. Baby Olivia first started showing signs and symptoms of juvenile idiopathic arthritis at just 10 months old.
Going from, being a happy kid, standing, almost walking, to then kind of regressing all the way back and just wanting to be held all the time. And so that we ended up getting our final diagnosis, I think was 15 or 16 months of age.
With no specific test to diagnose, the family spent a lot of time in walk-in clinics and with their family doctor searching for answers. Fortunately, they connected with a pediatric rheumatologist who travels north every 4 months to provide an outreach clinic through McMaster's Children's Hospital.
I myself was diagnosed with juvenile arthritis when I was 18 months old, and had a very similar story. One of the reasons I'm really passionate about care in the north, in particular places like Sudbury, is I actually grew up in a Northern Ontario community in Thunder Bay, so slightly different. But I recognize how challenging it can be for families.
Through proper treatment, not only is Olivia walking again, her mother says the 2.5-year-old is truly thriving.
We know that this disease can have a lot of periods of, remission and then worsening and flare-ups, and we don't really know where we'll be heading in the direction that we're going. But right now, she's doing so well.
March is Juvenile Arthritis Awareness Month, and both women say it's important to shed light on the disease.
We hear from a lot of families that they'll tell people in their community, whether it's family members or teachers or coaches, that their kid has arthritis, and they get a lot of your kid can't have arthritis. That's a disease for old people, which is absolutely not true. 1 to 3 in 1,000 kids in Canada live with juvenile arthritis.
Data from Cassie and Friends shows that the autoimmune disease affects over 25,000 children in Canada, with many diagnosed between the ages of 2 to 4. Only 20% of Canadians have heard of juvenile arthritis, compared to 87% for childhood cancer. Lindsay Alick, CTV News, Sudbury.
Let's bring it home.
Short.
I'm ready.
Snappy.
Mes amis, bonjour.
And most importantly, memorable. When it comes to political ads and slogans, how much do words matter?
If this slogan at least is something short enough and crisp enough, it might get in their mind, even a little bit subconsciously.
But what about originality?
The issue with the slogans that we have is that basically it's the same 6 words. It's change.
If you're ready for change, I'm ready too.
It's you.
Because it's time for you to get ahead.
It's together.
Vote for a Canada that works together.
It's forward.
And keep moving forward for everyone.
I'm for president.
Whereas some, mainly in the U.S., become iconic, like this one from 1952.
You like ice, I like ice.
Or Ronald Reagan's 1984 ad.
It's morning again in America.
And certainly this current slogan.
To make America great again.
Marketing executive Eric Blais says Canadian parties tend to be more cautious with their messaging.
There's nothing worse than building something by committee when it comes to carefully crafted language, of course, in both official languages.
And in the face of American threats of tariffs and over Canada's nationhood, it's a 30-year-old commercial circulating on social media that's stoking up patriotism.
My name is Joe, and I am Canadian.
A beer ad that wasn't expressly partisan, but is tapping into new meaning.
It's, of course, the appropriate moment to bring it back because, again, we're thinking about Canadian identity and Canadian sovereignty and how we're different than the United States.
So whether it's signs on the street, by flying the flag,
Canada first for a change.
Doing it in French,
Je choisis le Québec.
Or using some star power,
Mike Myers?
The most important element is to make an impression on voters in just a few words. Kelly Gregg, CTV News.
Denver Barkey had another great season, but it's what the London Knights captain does off the ice which separates him from his peers. partnering with the fan club, Barkey's Buds was formed.
To give kids less fortunate the opportunity to play hockey or even come to a game and maybe fall in love with the game.
Booster Club president Sav Neth grew up in London housing.
I never had the opportunity as a kid to go to a game, so seeing these faces and partnering with Denver, and Denver is an individual that's always going above and beyond, right? So seeing these kids now want to come out and play hockey, give back, and it's full circle.
Over the course of the season, they held an equipment drive which brought in more than 1,500 pieces. Most of them were donated to the George Bray Association. They also gave away 500 tickets and even paid registration for 10 kids to play hockey. Chris Refflinghaus and his boys were the beneficiaries of free tickets.
It was amazing, but then the step forward with like getting a few different items from the merch store. So my boys ended up getting hats, and it was amazing.
Anyone who has interacted with Denver can immediately see the attributes which make him a captain.
He's always wanted to do well for everybody, for himself, but he does like to give back. He's always been very kind that way.
Hockey provided me with, friendships, relationships, memories, life lessons. It's taught me so much throughout life, and it's helped me throughout life. And just to give kids that, may not be able to afford the sport an opportunity to play or, even come to a game, just to give them that opportunity, makes me feel good.
And as the playoffs begin, Barkey's OHL career is coming to an end. However, this foundation is just scratching the surface.
Seeing the best game possible, something we take for granted at times, but to see the joy and then the feedback, and we're going to open doors and, provide those opportunities and hopefully make this world a bit of a better place.
Brent Lale, CTV News.
A couple who lost their business in the Jasper wildfires is one step closer to reopening in Edmonton. We first met Glenn and Wendy Leach last July when they spoke with CTV News. They thought their 20-year-old business survived last July's wildfire, but the damage to the Patricia Street Deli was too much. In February, we visited the couple at the site of their new project, the Jasper Deli in Edmonton. The couple has been fundraising to open in a commercial space near MacEwan University. Their Kickstarter goal has now been surpassed, and they say they will use the extra money to make more options available.
I was diagnosed as a celiac several years ago, and so we're going to put the money into having a dedicated sandwich bar and a dedicated production area for our gluten-free community.
You want to be optimistic, but then it kind of slows down a little bit, and then these angels in the back scenes, they all of a sudden donated, and we got over the top.
They're hoping to open the new deli in July or early August of this year.
Wild pigs roaming parts of Manitoba may not be unstoppable after all. A new report suggests eliminating the invasive species is more feasible than previously believed.
What we're finding now is that our wild pig situation is very, very different than in the U.S. Our pigs don't seem to breed nearly as quickly as the American pigs do.
Dr. Wayne Lees, the former top veterinarian for the province, says that's good news. He says wild pigs are, quote, an ecological train wreck that eat everything from crops to creatures.
They're a threat to the environment because they really do alter the environment for our native animals, and especially ground nesting birds or small reptiles and mammals.
And they could contaminate water sources with E. coli and spread disease to domestic livestock.
So wild pigs can carry things like African swine fever or tuberculosis or brucellosis or even influenza.
The province and federal government boosted funding for the Squeal on Pigs campaign last year. The program focuses on surveillance, public awareness, and capturing the bothersome beasts.
We're using thermal imaging drones a lot now to actually find out where the pigs are.
Dr. Lee says it's paying off. Last year, the campaign removed 204 pigs from the wild, and field data collected since 2022 indicates the population isn't exploding here like it does in warmer climates.
They seem to take a lot longer to mature, so it takes them longer to reach breeding age. And our pigs the young ones probably have a very hard time surviving in our cold winters.
The report says the current population of wild pigs is hovering around the 1,000 mark, and Dr. Lees estimates it could take another decade to eradicate the species. Manitoba's agriculture minister says the province is committed to the campaign.
And I can say, as statistics has proven, great success on the program that we continue to work with and keep the population in check.
Now, not everyone is optimistic. Ryan Brook, a professor at the University of Saskatchewan, tells us Manitoba is the most improved province when it comes to dealing with wild pigs, but says any comment on eradication may be premature. He says the wild pig population in Saskatchewan continues to expand, and merely these beasts know no borders. He also feels there isn't enough concrete data in this report to suggest eradication in a decade is possible.
All right, Daniel, so if someone does spot one of these pigs on their property, what should they do?
Well, don't welcome them inside, Marilee. Instead, they can report wild pig sightings by calling 1-833-SPOT-PIG or by going online to squealonpigsmb.org.
All right, thanks for this.
Like many artists who love to paint landscapes, Mina Haynes is looking forward to capturing the breath of life that spring brings. And Mina has been around for more than a few spring seasons. Mina lives here at Muskoka Landing Retirement Home in Huntsville. And get this, she's 104 years old. She loves painting landscapes and only started painting when she was in her 70s. She says she loves the creativity of paint and all the places it can take you. And she's happy all that snow is melting because she has an idea of what her next painting will be.
Something alive, something in the spring, something that's coming to life. Yeah, something that's coming to life, something just coming to bloom.
We'll have to get her to paint the turkeys in the back lot. Mina says the first really warm spring day that arrives, she'll head outside for a little painting inspiration.
When Catherine Dobrovolsky began her daily walks by the water, she never expected to form a friendship.
I just wanted to get some exercise in, enjoy the fresh air.
But Catherine soon realized she wasn't alone in being active by the ocean.
Every day there was something new here. It became addictive.
While the creatures Catherine encountered and caught on camera were countless, there was just one that really captured her imagination.
Just watching it camouflage and the way it moved, I was hooked.
Catherine kept her eye out for other little octopi until one day she noticed a big blob.
I just said, oh my God, I got to get a better, closer look.
Catherine was surprised to find the biggest octopus she'd ever seen, who rushed to get a better, closer look at her too.
I'm scared. The grip was so tight, it felt like I was getting my blood pressure taken in my legs. And I was petrified. I was freaking out.
Catherine attempted to calm herself down by taking big breaths.
I just all of a sudden started to relax, and then he did.
The octopus loosened its grip, left her leg, and transformed into a shape that felt like the start of a wordless conversation.
There was a connection. He felt me and I felt him. Oh, you're beautiful.
And they spent the next hour together.
Look at you. It was the best day of my life.
Before continuing their conversation over the past few weeks.
Oh my God, are you ever soft? He's sort of like an underwater puppy dog now. Love you.
Now, Catherine says the octopus she calls baby seems to recognize her, regularly swimming up to her leg to give a hug and receive an appreciative pat.
Look at you. You're so pretty. Now we're buds.
And their friendship, Catherine says, is powerful and a privilege.
I was giving him love, and he gave me love back.
A love that Catherine hopes will inspire others to connect with the natural world with curiosity, appreciation, and respect.
Good baby.
Adam Sawatsky, CTV News, Victoria.